Okay, there's that. So I think we actually want to hold the nest. No, not play nest. I said hold nest. So our problem comes if he kills all of our drones. This is probably Erendite. Actually, might be Erendite. I don't know if he's running it. Blood Eagle. No warriors in the deck. He's up quite a bit. This is probably Heart of Terror. We play the nest here. We hope it's not, what's his name? Hemdall. Hemdall would be really bad. No, it's just War of Clans. We're going to lose 2 drones. It's not too bad. Not just 1 drone. He's going to go for this. Spawn with the lock. He did leave our Agora at 1. Glusty Warp is going to be really big. And is just barely big enough. GG. Today we're trying out an interesting deck. So it was suggested to do a Kikimore Queen deck, and I've been meaning to try out Kikimore Queen with Golden Nekkar for a while now. So that's what we're going to do. So this will be a little different than a lot of other Arachas Swarm decks, especially ones in the past where you have stuff like the boost all units, Bone Talisman, and such. And since we're playing Golden Nekkar, we can't run our big finishers like our Yennefer, which is what you'd normally run. Go with your big Yennefer finisher, boost your units a whole bunch, and the opponent doesn't get as many boosts, good stuff like that. But instead, we're going to be going with this version. So let's take a look and talk about what we want to do with the deck. Running Arachas Swarm, because that was the Crested Leader ability, and Arachas Swarm, I have not seen in a long time, so we're going to try and see how good it is. It has a couple of advantages here that it plays very well with no unit deck, so usually if you see an Arachas Swarm deck, it's a no unit deck. Or at least very often it's a no unit deck. That's not going to be the case here. We only have like 6 or so organic cards. You can run a couple more, and I'll talk about where you'd put those in. But we're just running not that many here. But we're going to try and take advantage of this to spawn the tokens because of the Kikimore Queen. So we have the Magic Lamp. This is probably the best one to go with because you don't have anything you need to protect round 1. We're making mostly small units. And you don't really need to protect anything, which means Jin's the best. Just because the other ones boost units, it makes you taller. And we don't really go very tall, so it's not too much of a worry. So nothing else really makes sense, unless you want to go Curse Scroll. Curse Scroll is fine if you want to make sure you draw your Golden Nekkar or something like that, but I don't think it's worth it because we have enough consistency, I think, in the deck. But it's worth considering if you don't want to, say, mess up a combo by you using your Golden Nekkar to pull something out you don't want. So that is worth considering here. So Golden Nekkar. Golden Nekkar does have a little bit of a problem in this deck, which we'll talk about probably once we're done going through all the cards, but we tried to make everything fit here. So we have Golden Nekkar, we have Sirinova, because the Golden Nekkar, then we got Roach Knickers for some consistency, some points that round 1. Make sure we draw our Golden Nekkar eventually with that consistency. We are running Glusty Warp. So Glusty Warp here is to go with the Arachas Swarm. You get a bunch of 1 strength tokens out, and you consume them with Glusty Warp. You want to do this in a different round than the Caranthier Kikimore Queen. So Caranthier Kikimore Queen is how we deal with a long round. Ideally, we go Caranthier into Kikimore Queen, play the Kikimore Queen with a bunch of drones out. You can spawn those with your leader. You can spawn them ahead of time with your Arachas Nest and your Spontaneous Evolution, maybe your Behemoth. And then use the Kikimore Queens and the Caranthiers to get a bunch of points off of them. That's what we do in a long round. And then you want to use the Glusty Warp in a different round because you can't use them in the same round because you have them at more than 1 power. Glusty Warp will not destroy them and you won't get the points. You can still destroy opponents' units that are at 1 power, but that's probably not going to happen very consistently. So then we have the Caranthier Kikimore Queen, like you said. That is their weakness here, and they can also be messed up. This combo could be messed up with your Golden Nekkar. So you have to be careful with that. Just be mindful that it's not the most consistent thing to have all this stuff play out correctly unless you're seeing ahead of time what's in your deck, which is why we're running Maxi. And she also has the benefit of thriving our Kikimore Queen. So then we have the lake. The lake's here mostly for the Chimera. It also spawns 2 drones, so it fits really well, but it's mostly here for the Chimera. The Chimera is our big card we want to use in the Kikimore Queen round. If you look through the deck here, since we're playing Arachas Swarm, we want some organics, we want some specials. Golden Nekkar takes up a slot. We've got the lake here, or lock, sorry. And then we have Tome, because we need to find Golden Nekkar. We've got a couple of specials here. We've got Dive, Evolution, and Arachas Nest, and Spores. The standard stuff you want to run in these type of decks. And that leaves you, it leaves you with not many unit slots, right? We have a lot of specials. And you need units to thrive the Kikimore Queen and Karantha, otherwise it doesn't work. Chimera is the best unit to do that, because most of our units are small anyway, like Nekkars and Roach get pulled out of the deck. Wispus is a 2. Toad Prince has to consume. So really Chimera is where it's at for your thriving. So being able to make another one with the lock is really nice. Now then we're running Aguara. So this is just a tech slot here. You can choose whatever you want. It's Aguara and Toad Prince slot. I had 16 provisions. I figured we'd run these 2 8s because I like Toad Prince, especially in decks without a lot of control. I did consider running 2 Mastercrafted Spears or a Parasite instead. It's up to you on the Parasite versus Spear. I just wanted to try out Mastercrafted Spear because I hadn't yet. Parasite is the organic, so that's a little advantage there. So you'd probably want to run one of these. But I felt like we'd just go with the Aguara and the Toad Prince here. You can run the other ones. The problem is that a lot of the low provision cards are really actually quite key to the deck, right? If you're running a swarm-based deck like this, you need a Nest, and you need Nest and Evolution. You can cut Predatory Dive. I was just feeling running Predatory Dive because we haven't used it in a while, and it can catch people off guard. Naturally, when you're playing Arachas Swarm, they know you're going to run it, but it still makes them play suboptimally. Like, they can't play an engine, then boost it with the stratagem right away because you can just kill it. So you could do that. And you can also just run 1 Predatory Dive as well, and use the provisions here to change these 2 around. It's just without too much control, I figured the Aguara's lock would be quite handy. And the unlock is actually really useful because your biggest threat here to your long runners, they lock Kikimore Queen or the Destroyer. The lock we can deal with Aguara. You can also use a Purifying Peller. I kept the Peller anyway just because of resilience cards and defenders, so it's nice to have those. So that's what we're going to do here, just run the Aguara and then the Toad Prince. Arachas Behemoth, it's really good if you have a bunch of dudes out, and it spawns 2 more, so that's really nice. The only issue with the Behemoth is it's not big enough to thrive the Kikimore Queen, but it is what it is. Then we have the Toad Prince Nekkar. As we mentioned, Wispus Tribute. It finds you whichever of your organics you need. The most important thing there is it finds you with Spores if you need it at the time, or Predatory Dive. Those are the ones that are like very conditional when you want to play them. The Nest and Evolution you can play most of the time and they're good, but Dive and Spores you want to play at the right time, and Wispus Tribute can find those for you. Then we're running Arcane Tome as we want to get our Golden Nekkar. If you think you have enough consistency with Maxi, you probably can cut the Arcane Tome. I would consider cutting it for the Parasite, but for now we're going to try it out just because we're going to try it out to see if it's needed or not. This is one I suspect after testing we may cut, but we're just trying this deck out here, so we'll be using it for now. Then we have Dread Gravel. It's a second lock with the Behemoth. You could swap it for Parasite for more control. That one's up to you. But I like having it as a unit, and the reason why we have these lock cards instead of more control is mainly because of Kikimore Queen, right? We actually need 3 units to thrive it. Like I said, we pretty much only have Chimera, and then like maybe Glusty Warp, but you don't want to use it on the same round. But the nice thing with Aguara and Maxi and Dread Gravel is they're all 6 or higher power cards, which will usually be thriving your Kikimore Queen, so it's important to have that. You play these, and then you play the Chimera, ideally, and get big enough. So then we have the Predatory Dives. And Maxi I mentioned, it's really good to make sure you know what you're going to get off your Golden Nekkar. It might be just enough consistency to get your Golden Nekkar. You don't need the Tome, but I already mentioned that. And the Dives, Evolutions, and Nests set up your tokens, and Chimera thrives them all. Well, not thrives them all, he boosts them all in the same row with the Adrenaline effect, ideally. Got the 1 Spores and the 1 Peller. So there's a lot of choices in these type of decks. The ones I would consider is you could always run a Squirrel or a Xavier. Xavier has the advantage of being a 6 power card for that thriving. If you don't want to go with Kikimore Queen and Karantha, you're in a more standard deck. You can also cut Golden Nekkar if you want as well. I just thought this would be kind of fun to try out, since one of the things they did with Kikimore Queen is they buffed her to 9. And one of the biggest things with 9 provisions is obviously Golden Nekkar deck, so we're trying that out. And I mentioned several times we have low control. You can address that with either Glorious Hunt, which works pretty well, or Curse of Corruption. You can also run a Ring of Favor. I didn't go for the Ring of Favor just because I felt like there's too much single target tall punish. Ivar, especially in my games at least, is super common, and Vilgefort stuff. You know the cards, right? So I didn't want to go too tall with this. And then Curse of Corruption, it is not bad. The thing with Curse of Corruption is that we have Glusty Warp, and you don't want to have Glusty Warp in the same round as Curse of Corruption. And the other thing is you can get kind of tall when you start Chimera-ing and Spontaneous Evolutioning. Not so much Chimera, but Spontaneous Evolution gets you like 4 points. We don't go super tall, so Curse of Corruption is an option. You'd probably cut Aguara, and maybe cut one of the Dives down to a 4 provision. Could be the, what's this 4 provision? monsters that does 4 damage and makes drones. You know what I'm talking about. This thing, you could use our natural selection or a squirrel. You could also run a Kikimore worker, because it does help with the thriving. You could do that as well. So there's a bunch of options there for control. And like I said, you can do Glorious Hunt. But let's get into some games here. It's a lot of time talking about this deck. Going up against Royal Inspiration Knights, potentially a problem. We don't have the Tall Punish to deal with the Knights, so we have to win round 1 and bleed out their scenario. That's really our only option here. As far as our hand, we do have Caranthier, which is really nice to have. We don't have anything to target with him because we didn't draw our Kikimore Queen yet. So that's interesting. A Glusty Warp will probably be using this round if we're honest here. And these 2 locks will probably be handy. We've got Behemoth here, a bunch of drones. If we Behemoth, we can't Glusty Warp consume, just keep that in mind. I think we'll put back the nest for now. There's Siri. The 2 locks are actually probably good here. Just keep this. We don't want to trigger this just because we could, it would mean we would have to kill something with our Predatory Dive. We'll probably have to spawn a drone for the dive anyway. We'll just start with this. See, where is Golden Neckar's not too far down. Once we draw it, we will get this, and Chimera. Queen. Yeah, this is not bad setup for our deck here. Might as well flip this now, though. We don't have the nest. Only open with nest to spawn the 4 guys. But Roach is a beast, which means we can target it with our evolution. It's not bad. Do we want to stop this? We could lock whatever infuses instead. So I think we'll just hit this with a Spontaneous Evolution here. We're not going to have a ton of drones this round. That's okay. This way at least have a drone, so if you want to go with the Predatory Dive, it's fine. Dive won't do very much, unfortunately, here. We want to lock him, I think. We're playing our Gregory here. We do have a Guara, so it's not too bad to use one of our locks here to get this round. Just keep in mind we have to win this round. It's worth remembering that for sure. And since that's the case, it's probably going to be a longer round. This would add up to like another 12 or so points by the end of this. So kill a drone. That's okay. We don't have much drone synergy in this one. Player Siri. We are up quite a bit, so if he passes, at least we have the carryover. We've got Knickers coming out here. We are up a lot. It's really good to see that. The only problem is we're kind of just down to good cards now. Cards we don't really want to be playing. $18-point difference here. We could just throw down the Arachas Behemoth. It is a very good card to hold on to. But then again, we don't have much going on in this round. Like, playing the dive would be much better after we've done this. Go throw this down. It only plays for 7. It plays for much more if you already have drones out. I think we do go for a Predatory Dive here. It's not amazing, but it's the best card to get rid of from our hand. Because most of the cards in our hand we want to keep. There's the pass. So we have to bleed out the Knight scenario here and then go into round 3, probably with short round Glusty Warp. We're going to draw Kikimore Queen and then Golden Nekkar we should get next round. So that's very nice. Purify is really good against what they're going to be doing to us. We do want the Chimera, but I think we want to put this back. There's a Kikimore Queen. We got access to whatever we want from an organic here, which will be our spores. So this is a nice hand. The only thing is the Glusty Warp doesn't fit super well. But we will be getting a bunch of drones, so we can do that. And the nice thing about Kikimore is, unlike the Koshe, it does not have any adrenaline conditioning on it, so we can just go into it right away. Question is, do we want to do that with all of our leader charges or not? We do 5, 6 units, 7 units, 8 units. This has to be melee 9 units. I think we'll do it. The problem with this is it weakens our short round, but we absolutely have to force out his stuff here. And keep in mind, we can always split up the Kikimore Queen too if we want to, put them in different rows. So we're not going to be able to do anything about that. He doesn't have his full setup here with this scenario. It's a good thing we have not revealed the golden Nekkar yet. We could just save that for short round 3, which is probably what we'll do. I think we will set up our Kikimore Queens in both rows. Then we'll go for Wispus to spawn some more drones in the ranged row. We don't want to fill this last one up because I guess there's no way we're really going to effectively use Toad Prince. With a nest here. And then we have Chimera. This thrives, and we can play Glusty if we want. Good player now, honestly, with all these drones out. There's the night scenario. But I'd like to save her just because we have the option of getting, like, Nest Evolution round 3. So this is a big scary card here. We're not going to be able to play too many more cards this round. Both rows have 5 drones. Let's just consume one in this row. A lot of points going. He's going to have even more points than us. We only have a couple more cards we can play here. Yeah, so this should get him close enough that he can pass. Just because of how many he can do next turn. Alright, so he's got 2, well, it's 4 for each of these, right? 4, 8, 12. This is only 2. 14, that puts him at 44. This gives him 5, plus the 2 ticks of Vitality. That puts him at 51. He only needs 10 off of his card from his hand. So if we want to stay on even cards, we pass this turn. Or we go with our Aguara here. And that'll thrive a bunch of points for us. Or we could go Glusty Warp Aguara. Glusty Warp is our finisher, so I don't think I want to. I think we'll just play the Aguara here. We should be able to survive his next card. So we're up by so much, but 2 cards should get him ahead here unless he leaders. No chase, he might be able to do it in 1. So Neuromancy. So there's the carryover. There's that. And here comes all of the triggers of the Graces. And then we'll have to pass here. The Vandergrift, we definitely want to be hitting with a Purify. Now he's got his Aaron Knight boosting as well. It shouldn't be too big. I guess we'll have to reset the Vandergrift probably. We do have a Predatory Dive, which is not amazing. In our deck, we will get Lock, Chimera, plus something. Lock, Chimera, plus something. We only have 1 unit. Like, these are all decent cards, at least. I think we put this back. We get Arcane Tome now, right? That's still in there. We have a lot of specials we can play. It's not too bad. The tome's good. It gives us more special or more tokens for Glusty. We do have Glusty Warp Finisher. That protects him from the dive. I think we will consume the Lady of the Lake. That'll make Predatory Dive more useful. We can make sure we get Chimera by playing the lock before the Golden Nekkar. So I can go Golden Nekkar last day should be pretty good. We go Toad Prince. This round's pretty much set out, right? We go Toad Prince. Go Toad Prince. I mean, this is before this. We go Toad Prince. Dive on whatever he plays next. Lock. Golden Nekkar. Glusty. It's pretty set in stone here. Problem is we do the dive, we kill our own guy, so we actually won't quite do that yet. Let's play this. And we'll go with the Fuka. So you will be triggering that Thrive at least once. He hasn't triggered his order on this Squire yet. So I guess we'll just hit it with a dive now that we have the setup better. He does have an Erendite, which is not going to be very big. But he might use it to kill our Fuka. Nope, just that guy. So we do want to reset for sure. I imagine his last card is Erendite. Let's go for the Golden Nekkar. Not the best ordering on these, if we're honest. And we'll use this to get our spores out. Just do a reset. And then we should win this with a Glusty. Outside of some crazy last card. We can't get Ignied because we're at 21, so that's not a problem. It's probably just Erendite, like we said. He can't trigger... I guess he's got a 50-50. He's got a 50-50 if he's got Erendite on triggering this turn. Now I can guarantee it. But we should be good enough here. The Glusty Warp to get a win. And that'll be our GG. That was a good game. Patricidal Fury probably raids. Raids are less of a problem than against most stuff for us. Don't think we need Peller. Double Predatory Dive. It's not great. It's really not good against him just because of the mask, but maybe he won't. Okay, never mind. He did. This is going to be rather rough because we're going to have to give him this round. We just don't have the stuff to take it, I don't think. I mean, we could... Like, our best tempo is like Toad Prince into Evolution, into Behemoth. We've got Chimera. Dive is never going to be played this round effectively, which means we basically have Behemoth, Toad Prince, Chimera, Evolution to play. That means we won't get to the Chimera's Adrenaline. We'll play Siri. I mean, we could just play Predatory Dive. Could. Just play with the Toad Prince first. Get our tempo out with Roach, at least, from playing a gold card. We don't want to play Siri first, just in case he... we don't want her taking ping damage. There's nothing else on the board. We could play Behemoth, but Behemoth would be better after we do Evolution, but we don't have a token. So I think we'll do is just make a drone. Then play Evolution. These are beasts, which gives us good value as well. It's just I want to be playing the Behemoth here for its point slam. Or the Glusty Warp, depending. Probably not Glusty Warp, because okay, there's that. Yeah, probably not Glusty Warp. I think we'll save her. She's just not really good in this matchup either, though. It's kind of a problem. I play Siri. That should discourage him a little bit from passing. We are on even. I didn't think we'd be able to put up this much against him. But I guess if he's still developing his raid carryover and just playing bronzes, makes sense. We don't really have anything other than Chimera. So we'll just go Chimera. It's good here for sure. A lot of points. Then we can dive next turn because Roach will die anyway. Well, won't die, but he'll be at 1. Praetor dives a net something. Okay, that actually gives us the round here. Not what I expected. Our whole Kikimore Queen thing is just, she's only going to get points from the one with Caranthier just because how much removal he will have. I don't think we want Predator. Well, maybe Praetor dive's fine now that he's doesn't have his spawning stuff out. This gives us Golden Nekkar. Probably just want 1 dive. Spores we can't target with, so it's not great. So the only thing we want to hit is a Sove. Lock will set up the Aguara. We do have Caranthier with the Kikimore Queen. So I think what we want to do here is bleed him on even, and then just have some kind of last lay with Glusty Warp. Which means we probably want to keep a nest. We do have another one, so that's okay. Start with this one. Problem with the Kikimore Queen is it dies to all of his raids. So the only good one's going to be the one from Caranthier. The other one's just basically a bleed. It's like you play it and bleed him a card. One of his raids. That's all it's going to do. We do have to watch out for the Fukusha. He might just open with it to kill off our drones. It's fine. No, he's not. Okay, that's fine. He's not going to open with it. That's good. We don't want to make too many drones before he starts going crazy here. We also don't want to have not enough drones where we can't bleed him. Although, a Praetor dive's not bad here. It's also not great. I think we'll use 2 drones. Then go Caranthier. Kikimore Queen. This gives us the option of just... We don't use up all of our drone tokens. That's just basically what it is. We don't want to use all of our drones. It would give us more points, but we know with his raids the Kikimore Queen's not going to do very much. We want to have some of these for Glusty Warp. I think we do want a Golden Nekkar to pressure this round if he doesn't leader, because we need to get rid of the leader ability. That is for sure. Okay, you have to have something that kills Kikimore Queen. Yeah, what took so long to decide on that? Let me play the other one. This one's just a bleed because it's going to die too. There's no point in holding on to it if we're not going to do anything in round 3. If it doesn't die, we go right into Golden Nekkar, but he's going to kill it. Okay, now that gives him the Bloodthirst for the second Gutting Slash. Or we're just going to go going hard here. I wonder if this is a Purify for Fukusha on the Arnulf. I have Champion's Charge. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. He did give us a bunch of 1 strengths, though. So, I think we can just go Glusty Warp and then short round of the Golden Nekkar. The thing with the Glusty Warp is he's 100% has Heart of Terror, and he's played only bronzes so far. But we do remove all of his Bloodthirst synergies by doing it. What would we get that would be good here? We've got this. We'll get Lock. I want to get the Lock. Guess we'll do it. Well, that's a lot of choices. Better click fast. Yeah, we didn't have enough time there. I was trying to click the Siren for the evolution, but we didn't get through the Fuka first. So I think we do need Glusty Warp round 3, otherwise I would have played her here. There's the Fukusha. Okay. We wanted to play Chimera instead of Fuka, we just didn't have time to play everything with the Golden Nekkar. Spent too much time thinking about it. What's he going to get with the Tome? The nice thing about the Tome is if we're bleeding raids out of his deck, they're control tools he won't have later on. I think he might actually want to keep them. No, he doesn't. We're hit with a War of Clans here. But since we won on even round 1, we can bleed a lot of cards here. Because we really don't care about holding on to these two. Or even really the Lock, like this doesn't do much either. The only card we really care about holding on to is going to be the Glusty Warp. And we'll hold on to the spawn ability from our Lock as well. I'm sure he's glad to see that. At least we got a Skellige Wolf when we do this. Let's take the Wolf over here. Doesn't have many turns of rain. Obviously this would have been much better if we managed to click the Chimera and then the Beast, but that's what it is. It's going to power up the raids a bit more. Tell me if you're surprised by that. I know I am. So surprised. Let's drop a Peller. Oh yeah, this bleed is going really well. We don't need Deregery. If we play this, we go to 42. Can we still win this? We need 11. Oh yeah, we got a bunch of 1s. Can always Glusty Warp those. So yeah, I'll just throw this down. He's not going to Hero Pass anyway, but he's really trying to hold on to something in his hand. Probably Sove, for being honest. I really want to bleed that out. Can't with the Glusty Warp, though, because that would lose us our round 3 finisher. Oh, we got it. So this is probably Singrif is right. Very effective bleed. Very effective. Now we'll get our Nest. Spore is probably not going to be a good card here. We do have Glusty Warp finisher, so Nest is the most important card to draw. And actually, we won't be wanting the Chimera then. So we'll put that back. Maxi versus Spores. Again, he's not going to have anything that boosts unless he's running Erendite. And I believe he had... Did he show Devotion? We gave him this. He did not show Devotion. I guess we'll keep the Maxi. If we get hit by an Erendite, they'll be a little bit sad, but we can do a pretty good finisher here. We just have to watch out for some kind of, like, even if he has a bunch of 1 damage stuff, it should be okay because we can spawn 2 on lock and 2 on leader. Okay, there's that. So I think we actually want to hold the nest. No, not play nest. I said hold nest. So our problem comes if he kills all of our drones. This is probably Erendite. Actually, might be Erendite. I don't know if he's running it. Blood Eagle. No warriors in the deck. He's up quite a bit. This is probably Heart of Terror. We play the nest here. We hope it's not, what's his name? Heimdall. Heimdall would be really bad. That's just War of Clans. We're going to lose 2 drones. It's not too bad. Not just 1 drone. He's going to go for this. Spawn with a lock. He did leave our Agora at 1. Glusty Warp is going to be really big. And is just barely big enough. GG. What a finish. So here we go against the double cross Nilfgaard. Very, all Nilfgaard decks are kind of scary because of how much point slam they have for us. We're going first, so we do want something that like makes a drone or whatever. This is a nice opener card. I don't think we need the Peller. Getting Caranther into hand is really good. We've got both of our artifacts. We'll put back the tome since we already have the Nekkar. And we have some answers to spotters if he's going to be playing spotters, which most of my opponents do. So at least we've got that going for us. Put the nest here. Let's see what our opponent's running. If he's randomly playing a bunch of crossbow, that could actually be quite sad. But unlike most decks, since we're running the Kikimore Queen and such, we don't actually rely on the full swarming. Like, we don't have Bone Talisman or Yennefer in our deck, so we don't have to worry too much about him just killing everything. Well, that would be nice. I think we just hit it with a Predatory Dive. Otherwise, we'll get a lot of points. Okay. Guess he's counting on us not having another one. And we, in fact, do not have another one. Other key thing about the lock here is it stacks Sirinova to the top of our deck, which is worth noting. So that is quite useful. Flip this here, I think. And then we'll play the lock. And then we will just play... We don't have the Adrenaline on the Chimera. We'll just put out a Fuka. I want to get the Roach out of our decks. We have to play a gold card here, and I don't want to waste a lock or anything else. So this is the least bad of the gold cards to play here. We will move here, top of our deck. We'll go with an evolution. It is worth 1 more point to evolution the beast than the drone, assuming you don't need the 3 points for the Chimera. If we spawn 3 in a row, that row's full, so the we'll just play the Chimera in the other row, so we'll actually get more points here from the 3 drones. We only have room for 1 more unit, though. If he plays a spine card, we only have room for 1 more, but we can consume with the Chimera. That'll trigger our Fuka. If we ever use Toad Prince, they'll trigger our Fuka too, so we don't consume a melee one. There's a lock. Okay, so I guess we won't be using the Fuka here. We'll play our Chimera. Pretty good point slam off of it. Keep in mind, we want to bleed him round too, just because of the Yonkoe, that's what you do against them. We can't play... Okay, I was going to say, if we can't play Toad Prince here, we might be in a little difficulty and have to waste a lock card, but he's going to give us the pass. Ideally, we can get into some of our spawning cards before we go for the Kikimore Queen stuff, but we have to draw her still. We do have to draw her. Put that back. Okay, we've got locks. We just don't have Kikimore Queen. Outside of that, this hand's really good. So we could play into this round without using Kikimore Queen. We at least want to go Siri Nova. Do have our Golden Nekkar available. Should give us Tome. We should redraw a card. It doesn't feel good, but we should redraw one. Draw this one. We're going to open Siri Nova. This is getting answered. But there's a chance if he's using Vilgefortz and it's a Renfrey deck. I guess it can't be because we played Diplomacy. If he is playing Vilgefortz, so we could pull out our Kikimore Queen who could try and do something from there. We just hope he doesn't pull it out, though, because I'd really like to Caranthier. Otherwise, a Caranthier is very not good. I guess that would be bad. Not good is bad. We do know how to speak, and we know words sometimes. Alright, here we go. I did check. I think this is 25 cards, so he's just going to see all the cards in our hand, which means we want to play Toad Prince before we go for our Kikimore Queen. We don't want to have Toad Prince in our Kikimore Queen hand, just because it gives him an option to remove it with the double cross. Gonna hurt our Siri. Don't hurt Siri. We like Siri. I think we play Toad Prince. We just don't want him to have it as a choice. Same thing with Aguara. Although Aguara's not as bad because we can use it to unlock after he locks. It's possible to boost our Siri with the evolution. It won't give her an extra effect, but it will keep her from... will give us more carrier points unless he kills her right now, which is a possibility. Let's go watch out for the Stefan Skellen and Hefty Helga type combo. Seen that in quite a few of these decks. Okay, he hasn't done it here. I think we'll go for our Wispus tribute. I'm not too worried about Siri. I think Siri's just... if he didn't kill her this turn, I don't think he's going to. So he probably doesn't have that many tactics. Maybe it's not Stefan, but we'll see. Spontaneous Evolution is probably the card we want to go for. Which means we need a drone to spawn more drones. Let's go for a drone here. And let's go for our Wispus. Evolution. This might be a Glusty Warp round, which is why I'm not sure we're going to play the Behemoth. We do always have Golden Nekkar for a short round, but I'm very hesitant to play it where it could get rid of our Kikimore Queen combo. But if we thin a card out with Tribute, it helps us make sure we get it for round 3. So I really want to be doing that. That's why we're playing her. Glusty Warp's what, a 12 here? Okay, so it's a Shupe deck. Okay, that makes sense with what we've seen so far. Yes, that makes a lot of sense. I see you're going to have a 1 power. Question is, do we want a Behemoth or Glusty? I think we want to hold Glusty, potentially to thrive our Kikimore Queen. Maybe after we play like Arachas Nest. It doesn't work super well, though. Let's just play the Behemoth. Just because it's pretty decent point slam. We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 points off of it. It's not amazing, but we do fill this row up. He doesn't know we're not playing Bone Talismans and such. And that's very bad. That's very bad against our deck, which is good for us. Let's get the Fuka, though. That one will be a problem. Oh, did we get him to leader? Hope we got him to leader. That leader, this is much better round 3. Golden Nekkar is a really risky card to play this round because it could give us the nest, which would fill our rows completely and like kill the other cards. So we don't really want to be using it. It's going to take one of our drones. It's not too bad. That makes the behemoth really good if we want to keep pressuring. So we will get Tome, which will give us spores or dive. Dive stops the illusionist bonded. Gives him a card too. Thins our deck as well. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a 1 in 5 chance of messing up the Kikimore combo. I think we go for it. We will draw the Kikimore Queen, so we'll keep this. Spores, we'll just reset this, I guess. Oh, reset Siri. No, let's be smart here. 8 points, and we'll play this. And we can play a special here if we want. I think we play a Predatory Dive. Should be fine. Now we can't do the Bonded Illusionist. Thins our deck by 1, and he should have mostly gold cards in his hand. Remember? We do give him access to Shupe Seoff. I mean, not Shupe Seoff, like any other special he wants from his deck with Tome. But we're going to pass next turn anyway. So yeah, we stop the Bonded. He's going to use the Tome here. Give it back to us. It's bribery. And we're set. We've got 5 cards guaranteed to get Kikimore Queen and Nest. Probably what we want to get. And we should just go from there. Although Glusty Warp's not a terrible card here, especially if whatever he picks spawns a drone. Which I doubt it will, but you never know. I guess if it's the Behemoth, it won't. So he's going to consume what? So for next round, we have access to Glusty Warp, but we're going to be using Arachas Swarm with Caranthier, so they won't be at 1. They're not going to be at 1. We should probably use the Glusty Warp to bleed here. Playing a special, the Nest. We actually want to keep the Nest, I think. So we'll just play her here to bleed him another card. Doesn't feel great. Maybe she doesn't belong in the deck, but you can never discount her short round. Glusty Warp I like much better with Germain. He does have a squirrel. I was hoping these would all be golds. So we have Aguara to thrive, Chimera to thrive, Deregere to thrive. So we want to have... I guess we can't have all of those. Yeah, we can. We can have Chimera, Kikimore Queen, Deregere, Aguara, Caranthier. Yeah, that's what we want for round 3. See what we can do with it. He does have Shupe left, and he's going to have carryover. But we still have carryover in our Siri. See what we can do here. Alright, so the cards we want are our Chimera. So we don't want the Peller. What, Deregere? I guess we have... Is Nest better than... Is this better than Chimera? I think Chimera is better. Put you back. There's Chimera. Let's see what we can put up in a short round. It's not Caranthier Koshé, but it's not going to be too bad. Just remember, he's got like Shupe still. With this many tactics, there's probably... Well, I guess he doesn't have that many tactics. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's not a tactic 3. Maybe there isn't a Stefan. Okay, here we go. The point slam round from him. Do we lock this or save our unlock? I think we just go point slam. See who gets more. Let's play the nest. Next turn we go boom, 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 boom. We do want a space ranged for unlock for Aguara, so we don't want to fill that row completely. We have one spot left. Just because I'm assuming he has a lock. He has Elbow Armored Cavalry, right? He probably has another lock. Did he play one? I thought he played one. He played one. There's Nausicaa. Okay, he probably just has too much point slam here. But we're going to give it a fair shot. See what we can do. Shupe's still a problem, obviously. So this is 1 unit, 2 units, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. We go 7, 8 units. Then play... Yeah. Go 1, 2 units. Then we go this on this. Next turn we go these melee, Kikimore melee, then we go the Chimera or Aguara depending, and then we play the other. He might be playing Surrender, which would be super duper sad. Nope, no Surrender. Okay. You never know with the Shupe decks what they might be teching into. Alright, we'll go... This doesn't matter for the leadering here. It does mean he probably does not have a lock. So we're safe now to just fill this last space on this row. He's got no lock. We'll be offensively locking something with Aguara. Chimera's going to be pretty good. That's for sure. Igni's still scary if he's potentially running it. We could get blown out by it. We shouldn't have filled this last space up. I forgot about Igni for a minute there. Okay, there's Vilga Forts. Just a Regare. If he has Igni, we're so doomed. I can't believe I forgot about it there for a minute. We should have left this space blank so we put the Chimera there. Man, forgot about it though, so what are you going to do? Play our Chimera. We get blown out by Igni, we get blown out by Igni. At least the Chimera means the Kikimore Queen lives, so we only lose 25 to the Igni. It's still a lot. It's probably too much to recover from if he has it. I mean, it's definitely too much to recover from because he still has the Truffle out. Yeah, we should have left this last space blank for our Chimera to go there to play around Igni. And there's the Igni, so yeah. We deserve that. So that's a GG. There's Shupe as well. I guess it doesn't matter because Shupe does 4 damage to the Chimera, then we still get Igni'd. So I guess in the end it didn't matter. Up against Death Wish. This is probably gonna go... I don't know, it depends what he's running. Unfortunately, Predatory Dive is really bad against Death Wish. I don't think I have to explain that. But I would like to get rid of it round 1 then. We do have 2 locks here. Maybe we do something this round. Maybe we can do something this round. Yeah, we can do something here. We're going first, right? So he doesn't have the Urn of Shadows for his Brewis Ritual. I mean, do we even keep this? Probably not. If we want it, we can access it off of Wispish Tribute. If we want it, that is. I think we just go with the Arachas Nest here. We have cards that are bad against him too. Okay, he's gonna go Haunt, but can't talk. We have cards. He has cards that are bad against us too, probably. Like, he has Manticore and Maruna. They're really bad against us. Problem is here we can't kill this can't kill this Haunt. I think we want to consume the Banshee, because that could give us a good setup for a very powerful Wispus into Predatory Dive. I think we want to consume that, because it also pulls out our Roach. We don't want to lose this on even, because we have no way to stop his big combos. Okay, he's going to have to consume his next one. So the dive isn't very good then. It's probably as good as it's going to be, though. So I think we might want to go for it. Yeah, let's go for it here. It's as good as it's going to be. Unless he completely missteps his plays here. Okay, what are we going with? Okay, that's interesting. This is a lot of consistency. There has to be some... Okay. That explains it. It's a Vidac. Now, we do have 2 locks. Are there any specials we would want to play into this? We just... I don't think we want to give him this back, just because it messes everything up so badly. We can't give this back to him. We have 3, 6 here, so we would want to put this here. Spawn this. He's going to win this round. What do we do against Vi? I don't think we have a way to stop Vi. I guess he might not be able to answer Kikimore Queen. Maybe. It's a big maybe on that one. We can play Vi again here. But he's already gone through Naglfar and Oniromancy, so I'm not sure how many times he can play it. Maybe we just hope he can't play it enough times to win the round this round, and then we go Kikimore Queen bleed. But bleeding Vi is pretty sketchy. That could be really bad. And it was. Broke our combo. Fantastic. He's down to leaders, though, because there's no consume cards out. I think the play Siri. We might have to Glusty Warp for space, but that's really sketchy into his deck, considering he probably has at least 1 or 2 removal cards. They don't always have removal cards, but I mean, a Spores you can fit into pretty much anything, and that's Glusty Warp's weakness. He does have another way to play it. Got the leader charge. No, just a Peller. That could have been worse. Go with a Chimera. We want to have Agora melee available, so we'll consume a ranged one. He is quite a bit behind still. Got the leader charge this one. Oh, he didn't leader charge it. Okay. He must have a Peller in his hand. Yeah, he's got something. That Prince Willem took up our last spot here, so we can't actually play any more cards, so he gets the round. This is all going exactly how we don't want it to go. Really counting on having that spot where Prince Willem is to put the Deregery here so we can melee the Aguara, but forgot. I guess we forgot Willem existed. But he can't have that many replay cards, right? He's got this, maybe Mata. Oh, he can't. We won the round. That's amazing. I guess he can't bring out of his deck here. That's what I was saying right there, is that I don't know how many more ways he has to play out of his deck. So I think we just bleed every card out of his hand so it's all gone. That is the best situation here. Dive will be useful if it's Vi. We want Golden Nekkar, Kikimore Queen. All these cards are good. Put back Maxi for them. This makes Chimera, so I think we go Nest first. We still have Glusty Warp. I think we just bleed every card out of his hand, since we won on even. I'm going to try and make it so there's no Vi round 3. Without Vi round 3, you shouldn't be able to do anything. And we Predatory Dive this, it's big tempo. And he should out. It should be the end of the game. I'm not sure what that plan was there. You can't just have Vi on the field. Just kidding, goes back in his deck. Dive's never hit anything. For some reason I thought we had Aguara'd that first, but I guess we didn't. Let's Aguara it now. He's running out of ways to play this. This time it's gone. So that's nice. I think we'll play the lock. How much do we really need for round 3? How many tokens? This makes Chimera. I mean, I guess we just do this first, right? Yeah, we just do this first. Chimera is going to be a big point slam. The only reason I didn't quite want to do this is because we can't use the order. The order just stacks the Maxi, so I guess it's not really worth it anyway. And this Chimera will be a whole bunch of points here. Without Vi, I don't think he has anything. I can't believe we just Predatory dived it and then just forgot. The only way to lose this game is go all in and get Tall removed. That's the only way to lose this game. If we go all in here and we get Tall removed. The safe play is just to pass and round 3 finish with a big Lusty Warp. It's the safe play. As if we do a bunch of leaders and play Glusty Warp here, and then he has like Heat Wave or something here, and he kills our Glusty Warp, we'll lose. So that's the only way to lose this. He is playing the Overwhelming Hunger, so Spores is super good. Oh, we still have Golden Nekkar in our deck. Okay. Oh, this is our only special, right? Our only special is the Spores. So we'll put that back. Still have Golden Nekkar. So this should be a... you can see what we're going to play with it. This should be a very open and closed round 3 case. Or round 3 setup here. Play Maxi. So Golden Nekkar, top unit will be Kikimore Queen. Then we'll get a Spores. Pretty happy with that. Problem with Kikimore Queen is that we don't get a big Glusty Warp, but it's still probably good. Yeah, I don't really know what he's going to be accomplishing here. Just play our Peller. There's no reason to go too hard here. The Slizzard. I would have liked to have that earlier. Then again, we would have just locked it. So, Golden Nekkar. This, we don't get Spores value then. I would like to get Spores value. I think our Glossy Warp's just going to be used to thrive the Kikimore Queens, so we'll go in here with the Chimera. It opens us up to getting surrendered or something, but I don't think he's running it. Drop the Kikimore Queen back here. Hit the Spores on this. Get a drone. Let's see what's up with his next turn. We're up quite a bit. I don't think he'll have a way to stop us. So, it should be an easy win here. Yeah, see, he did have a Spores. And then we'll just drop this because we'll see how many points it gives us. And it's just as fast as passing. So, GG. It's like 15. Good game there. We did something stupid in it, but we recovered. So, that's fine. So that's the Kikimore Queen Caranthir Golden Nekkar deck with Arachas Swarm, honestly, it didn't seem to do too badly. The only thing we lost to was an Igni, which I guess I thought we misplayed into it, but with the Shupe, there was no way we were ever going to live through it anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered there. But overall, pretty good. Much better than I expected. I kind of expected to lose a bunch of games, but it turns out we only lost the one, so that's nice. I mentioned the options, I think, mostly in the beginning of the video here, but I'll go through them again. If you want to be running Caranthir Kikimore Queen, you kind of have to remove some of the typical stuff in these decks, especially if you want Golden Nekkar, just because you need the units to thrive your stuff, which is why Duragare and Aguara come in pretty clutch here. Nice having those. Just to recap the cards here, you can run any of the organic cards. The Parasite as another removal tool. Where's Parasite? Parasite's a nice option as a removal tool. And then you can run the natural selections if you want in the 4 Persian slots. That's an option. And you can also run Adrenaline Rush. The only thing with the Adrenaline Rush that I don't quite like is how tall it goes, but it's not bad. It's good value. 9 for 5. It's good value. It's actually better value than the Evolution, unless you're hitting a beast. But then again, the Evolution spawns the drones, which give you more points overall. And you can always go with the Bone Talisman. Just we didn't because we needed more units to thrive our Kikimore Queens. If you don't want to go with Kikimore Queens, you can just go with the standard, the standard Bone Talisman and spawn more guys stuff. These slots in here that are flexible are the Aguara and Toad Prince. You can change those around as you want. I like having them. Good additions are not Golden Nekkar. These guys. Ring of Favor, Curse of Corruption if you want tall removal. While the Glorious Hunt's pretty good too, because your highest base power is an 8 on Siri, and then Aguara and such, but Curse of Corruption's better in a lot of situations. It just depends what the opponent's running, right? So Ring of Favor, good option. I just didn't play it because we don't want to go tall. Curse of Corruption's pretty good to answer stuff, just not my favorite card. And you can go with Hengaith Sword as well if you want more control. Worth also mentioning, if you want to be more consistent on your combo, you can go with either Trish Butterflies or Mada's less good because it doesn't quite give you what you want. So Royal Decree will give you whatever unit you want, or the Trish Butterflies are good options if you want to make sure your combo is more consistent. Especially Trish Butterflies, because you need to have the Kikimore Queen in hand. You can't pull her off your deck. So she's pretty nice for that. The only problem is then she boosts the unit by 3 and you can't thrive it. So you really don't want to be doing that. So she's good to get it in your hand, and you can use the second Kikimore Queen to 7 then to thrive, but she won't be thriving very much herself. So very much a trade-off there. I don't think it's quite worth it. And then the other options are if you go to the... where is it? You can run the Squirrel, as always, and you can cut the Peller if you want, because you have the Purify on the Aguara. Not Purify, the Unlock, which is probably more important on your Kikimore Queens. But you can cut the Peller if you want, put Squirrel in. And the other good options are here if you want to have more Insectoids just for the thriving. You don't have to thrive Insectoid tokens for Kikimore Queen. You can just run any of these guys. If you want to run more of a Thrive-based deck, since we do have more units, you could put in Andrega Larvas. But the problem is you're kind of cutting into the advantage of Arachas Swarm, or you're losing out on those drone points. So I wouldn't really do that unless you want to cut the Golden Nekkar stuff. But at that point, you're playing a completely different deck. So it's worth mentioning here. I would like to see, this is very random, some kind of change here with Andrega Queen. At 6 for 6, I considered running it, but it only spawns the 2 tokens. And the only thing with armor to consume is pretty much just Kikimore Worker, because nothing else really fits in the deck. If there was a high armor unit in neutral we could just run to eat, I would be all for it. But Kikimore Worker usually just takes the 3 damage and dies, so you don't have time to use the Andrega Queen. If she was in order, that might be better, but she's not, so I didn't quite think she was worth running. Same with Eater, however you say his name. He's not bad for making space on your row, and he does gain immunity when you eat the token, so I considered running him too. It's not a bad option, right? Because you could cut, this is what I was considering, is you would run the Ring of Favor / Curse of Corruption in Eater instead of the Aguara Toad Prince. Up to you on that one. He's interesting. Or she, I don't really know. Good boy, so you know, it's an option you can run as well. So that is the deck, guys. There's a bunch of changes here. I thought this was really fun to try out, and it ended up being much more successful than anticipated. Really good suggestion there, and hope you guys had fun watching this one. That'll be it for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more, and you can check out some more videos over here. And thanks for watching.